This week, a late bloomer loving life at Bomberland.
I never gave up because of self-belief. People said things, but I always took the positive out of it and tried my best.
And red and black royalty in the studio.
Michael Long for his fourth. A game breaker, Michael Long.
The main message is we've got to keep going. I think that, look, a really good performance, but not a complete performance by any stretch of the imagination. We played a West Coast side that was undermanned and did well, but there's areas we're going to do better in. It was really just the way we set up the ground defensively. I think we probably allowed West Coast 70 uncontested marks for periods in the game. We want to get better at it.
He can load up from here. No momentum. Goes to the square. Darling at the back. 3 Bombers. Hardingham. The boy from Kojonup. Got a dad named too. Who's the bus builder?
The defence is a really pleasing part of our game, and the way we went about that. Contested ball clearances was great, but you know we can get better. So the challenge is to the boys to try and get better.
Zaharakis and Waters go at it. Well done, David. Zaharakis. Magnificent one-on-one with one of the...
Zach was great, and you know, won the best and fairest last year, and really stepped up again this year. So really good.
Back in the middle, Bell Chambers up high, isn't he? Playing with confidence. Here's Watson. Goes inside 50, Riders in front again.
You know, our midfield doesn't get the credit, or not even the credit, doesn't get the accolades that a lot of midfields do, but so far this year we haven't done a lot wrong. We'll start watching Richmond tonight or tomorrow. We'll recover the players and get them into training pretty early in the week and get the message clear about how we want to beat Richmond. It's really, this game's dead and buried, and it's how we get on Richmond now.
The Sunday papers were definitely impressed by a 61-point victory over the Eagles. And by Monday, the news crews wanted to know all about it.
He said to enjoy it, but we said to just keep the lid on it and don't get too caught up in it, because they had a few out and they had a 6-day break, so they were a bit underdone. And but it was a great effort by the boys, and we're just getting ready for next week for the Dreamtime game. The way the boys stuck to the game plan, and we played consistent for 4 quarters, and was able to put a team away.
Davey to Stanton. Stanton to Crameri and Glass in a foot race here. The supporting role in the end of the back from McKenzie did well. Ryder wrapped him up. He just got the handball away. Well done, Glass. But now Butler's under Davey pressure. Forced the turnover. Handball to Lovett Murray into the open goal. That sums up the Bombers. Their pressure was fantastic.
The tackle obviously involving Pritis that saw him off for the rest of the game. What was your thoughts on your actions in that tackle?
I thought it was a fair tackle, and just took him to the ground. A bit surprised, I didn't realise he went off. After the tackle, he kept playing, and I assumed that he was all okay. And
running of Dempsey here, this is what split it open. He was able to get around. Waters had to commit up.
Like everyone else, I just try and play my role, and I guess that showed on the weekend in that aspect of playing my role. So I'm just going to continue doing that in the years, the games to come, and hopefully get more wins out of it.
A mature-aged recruit via Maryborough, Stuart Crameri has played a significant role in Essendon's improvement and is determined to develop his goal-kicking game even further.
He's got Monfries running towards goal. Crameri's over the back. Holds the mark. Just a couple of steps again for Crameri, and he comes. This time he kicks the goal.
At 18, I was probably pretty immature. I didn't have the mindset to be an AFL club. I was around a local environment and just hanging around mates, and I just didn't have any strong influences at that time, and I wasn't ready for AFL. To play football and get to the club, I had to stay in a hostel for a few weeks there, or a month or so, just to train with the VFL guys before the rookie draft. I had to get a lot of help from everyone to give me a hand to drive over to Bendigo as well early stages, and I used to sometimes try to ride my bike little bit of the way, but I think Mum got a bit felt sorry for me, so she helped me out a bit more. I never gave up because of self-belief. People said things, but I always took the positive out of it and tried my best. And you know, if things didn't work out, I'd always keep trying. And my parents helped me a lot, and I had coaches back home that always would help me through all the hard times.
This is my family home right here. As you can see around me, it's very beautiful and lots of gardens.
When we went back to the Maryborough for the community camp earlier this year, it was pretty huge for the community because they all knew me on a personal level and I knew them as well, and just to have the whole team there as well, you could see the smile on their face and they were just so proud, and yeah, it was a good moment.
As you can see, this one was named after me, Stud Mix.
My fitness and strength work, I worked a lot of that when I was 17, 18 before I got to the club, so I did about 3 years at a powerlifting gym, and I worked very hard getting the techniques right and strengthening up that way, and then I started to develop my running ability after that, and then my football came last, so I was a late developer, but that sort of set me up for where I am now with the strength and the endurance side of things on my football. All the teammates are really good because of the environment we've created, and you know, we're doing so well this year, and the guys look after each other on the field and also off, because we just got that well-being for each other, and it's a really good club to be at. It is hard to see, you know, that I've come this far from a humble beginning in Maryborough and just playing senior football with them to Essendon. It's been a huge journey, but one that I really enjoyed, and you know, there's a lot of challenges along the way, and it's been pretty good.
Yeah, it's pretty similar to Anzac, you know, 90,000 people at the G. A bit more important for the Indigenous players at the club. We had, you know, 5 or 7 players at the club, so it's very important for us as well.
Dream time for myself. It's, you know, one of my highlights of my football career, being involved in it, and I guess, you know, it's an opportunity to celebrate all the Indigenous I guess achievements in the AFL, and also for all the community to get involved with the game.
Yeah, it's pretty similar to Anzac, you know, 90,000 people at the G. A bit more important for the Indigenous players at the club. We had, you know, 5 or 7 players at the club, so it's very important for us as well.
It's really good, obviously, having a fair few of the Indigenous blokes on the list. Definitely does mean it's a bit of a special game for them, as well as for everything that's involved around it with the long walk and everything he's done for the club as well. It's another game that, you know, against Richmond, can really lift the boys up, and if you get a win in that, and it's a great way to sort of kick off the year.
Even the week leading into the Dreamtime game, just learning a lot about I suppose the heritage of Indigenous players, and yeah, I spoke to Michael Long during the week and whatnot. So no, it was an unreal experience for myself, and yeah, no, I really enjoyed it as well.
We've got a fair few Aboriginal players on our team, and there's, you know, a lot going around in the AFL, so it's nice to recognise the contribution that Aboriginal players have made to the game.
Yeah, it's really cool. You know, you see all the entertainment beforehand. There's a lot of buzz as well. A lot of Indigenous people come to the game from everywhere. They might not get to every game, but that might be their one for the year. And it's really good to be able to play with guys like Nathan Lovett-Murray, Owen Davey and Paddy Ryder. And it seems to be every time we play that game, they always play really well, which is exciting too, because that's what the fans want to see.
Favouring Jetta, one way, the other, and that is right through. No two ways about it. we've got so many Indigenous players at our club, and over the past 50 odd years, the guys that have come through are just incredible people and great players for our footy club. So Dreamtime to us is a very big occasion, and we want to pay it the respect that it deserves.
Certainly I always go out there and try and, because there's a lot of Aboriginal people in the crowd, I try and kick a good goal or take a screamer for them.
Jetta Ryder does it on his own. He goes solo and does it in style.
Well, it's very fitting that our studio guest this week is Bombers great Michael Long. Michael, thank you for coming in. The Dreamtime game is such a special game for you, isn't it?
Well, it is. It's the festivities of things that happen, the week of the game. Obviously, there's a lot of work that a lot of clubs do, and sort of unseen, and I suppose it's a great week that it represents a lot of the past players, but also the players today. And you only have to look at the number of players playing within the league and the percentage of players, but it's something quite special. I had some time with the players this week, with the Indigenous boys, just touching on a few things and what it meant to them. It's quite special. And then there's the long walk. Yeah, well, it just seems to grow year in, year out, and no doubt with the great support of the AFL and both clubs, Essendon and Richmond. But it's all people from long walk supporters, from people all over, across our great country that come along to the game and the events, which has just grown enormously. Is it time that we had an Indigenous AFL commissioner? Look, I suppose it's always been a hot topic, and it's always raised its head in discussion. And no doubt there's been a few people that have been asked and pushed, and I've been one of them. But well, certainly, for its own merits and being there for a certain reason, not just the Indigenous, but looking at football overall nationally. Would you like to do it? Look, if I was asked, I certainly would. I'm passionate about football. I've been with the AFL for a long time, and football's been great to me, and I'm still very conscious of the integrity of the Indigenous area, obviously the club, and being an ambassador for the club, which I'm something that I love, and I want to be a part of this great club, and I know what they've given to me. So yeah, it's been something that would be quite special. From commissioners to commentators, and that very famous goal back in 1993 in the grand final, what are your memories of that piece of play in particular? Yeah, it was, I suppose, early in the stage of the game, so all the blood's pumping, and obviously the crowd and the roar, and so it's the rush of blood, so it's so much happening at that time, and the roar running down the field. But it was a day that obviously the young baby Bombers are a bit like now, I suppose, when you look at the side now, the way it's going. So yeah, but it was certainly something that that 93 grand final where we were the baby Bombers, some of the great players that had come through that era. Was it touch? Did Sauce get a hand to it? I've done a couple of functions with Sauce, but he hasn't really answered it too well. But a great man, Sauce, but he's never really said yes or no. Yeah, Sauce. But that's backmen for you, Backmen never lie. They never lie. Yeah. Each week, the fans' opinion on EssendonFC.com.au decides the true value bomber of the round. And once again, the votes came flooding in. The nominations led by Jake Melksham's innate sense of where the goals are, putting it through despite seeing 8 posts after copying a finger in the eye.
Easy rip with this man on screen, Jack Melksham. You can see him saying to the trainers, don't worry, just give me an eye patch. I'll play on. Hard unit.
David Zaharakis' best and fairest-like form, cutting up the Eagles as part of a dominant midfield display.
Put his teammate under pressure. Zaharakis did well. Hocking allows him to run for the ball. Here they go, the Bombers. Monfries to Zaharakis, little ball.
And the commitment of the crowd, both to the ball.
Kick it goal, and the fan up there in the second deck says, oh boy, mate, you just got to play within your limitations.
And to the tradition of a colourful rivalry against West Coast. Congratulations to Scott Ward, who correctly selected David Zaharakis as the round 7 winner. He's now in the season-ending draw to win a True Value solar energy unit valued at $3,000. See essendonfc.com.au for full terms and conditions.
I know there'd be 2 or 3 games every year where you'd run out on the G and the hair on the back of your neck would stand up, and the Anzac Day was one, and Dreamtime at the G was also another one.
As the Bombers make their way out onto the MCG. Have a look at this for a crowd. It is a superb night in Melbourne, and the crowd has responded. It is jam-packed, the MCG.
It's Essendon's night. They win tonight by 35 points.
So now you know who I am today.
Siren sounds, and the Tigers have made a statement tonight in Dreamtime at the G.
That's who I am and where I stand today.
To Dreamtime at the G. It's the 3rd time this match has been played.
G'day guys, Damien Peverill here. During my 144 game with the Bombers, I got to play in some pretty special games. One of my fondest memories was the 2007 Dreamtime at the G game. It's great the way they, I suppose, incorporated the long walk and have, I think there was 600 or 700 people walking on the MCG before the game. I know there'd be 2 or 3 games every year where you'd run out on the G and the hair on the back of your neck would stand up, and the Anzac Day was one, and Dreamtime at the G was also another one, just because of the crowd and the noise they make.
As the Bombers make their way out onto the MCG.
Dreamtime at the G, been going for, I think, 2 years previous, and we'd always had trouble with Richmond.
Dreamtime game number 3. The Tigers are on the first 2. Who will prevail tonight?
I remember I played on Nathan Foley for most of it, and he was actually in pretty good form up to that point, so yeah, it was my job to chase him around and be a pest. Lucky enough to get a few touches as well along the way.
And he's pretty comfortable with the way he's going at the moment, Peverill.
I remember half-time, we were playing pretty ordinary, and they were actually up at half-time and up for most of the second half too, and I remember walking at half-time and expecting a spray from the coach, and he's actually pretty positive, which is, you know, one of Sheed's strong points was he could be playing like absolute dogs and he'd still be very positive.
Just Kevin Sheedy at half-time in the rooms. Not happy, and fair enough too. The Bombers should be in front.
In the end, I think Hurdy might have done a bit of Hurdy magic, as he does in those sort of games, and from memory he actually chased and tackled a bloke from behind, and the ball spilled free, and Scotty Lucas, who's always keen to sniff out a goal, Scotty, he was so lucky enough to be in the right spot at the right time, and I think snapped the goal on his trusty left.
James Hurd tackle, set it up.
It was actually the first year that hands in the back rule had been in, so you know, Richo, I think, took a mark behind Mel Michael, played on, and kicked what would have been a match-winning goal. That, fortunately for us, you know, with the new rule, new interpretation, the push in the back was paid, and then because he played on and kicked the goal, we actually got a 50.
He's oblivious to the fact that not only has he given away the free, he has given away the 50.
Yeah, end of the game, I think Lloydie might have taken a mark, but had the ball sort of centre forward, and yeah, the siren's gone, and no, we were just wrapped because we'd stolen one, and we'd finally beaten Richmond after 3 or 4 years. We got one back on them.
The Bombers have stolen victory in an incredible match at the MCG. They've come from 3 goals down with just minutes to go.
There's actually a group of us, myself, Mel Michael, Courtney Johns, Tommy Hislop and Hayden Skipworth are all playing at Aberfeldy, Houston, the local Essendon District League. So, you know, it's getting a little bit harder. Just chasing around 18-year-olds every week. Everything's sort of starting to slow down now. So I've actually got to play a little bit smarter now, which is not real great for me because I was never the smartest footballer. But yeah, just to win against Richmond was a relief because we were sort of on that similar sort of level in terms of where the list were at that time. So yeah, we get one over them. As much as we like hearing the Richmond theme song, it's always better to hear the Essendon one end of the game.
Bombers great Michael Long joins me in our studio. Now, the Long name continues at Windy Hill because your nephew Anthony is playing, although he's struggling at the moment with injury, I understand.
Yeah, he's had a few injuries, Anthony, and yeah, just hope he can get his body right because I think he's got something to really offer to the club.
And your young son, Jake, is very much on the Bombers' radar, and good judges say perhaps a first-round pick. Tell us about him.
Yeah, well Jake's been at Scotch College. This is his third year boarding down here because we've lived in Darwin for 5 years. But yeah, the private school comps is a real good comp, and look, he's progressing pretty well, and he's part of the James Hurd Academy as well, which is absolutely fantastic for the past players and the father and son rule.
Can you see comparisons to yourself at the same age?
Oh, it's hard to know because there's my wife's side's the Wanganeen side as well, so there's some great breeding brands there too, so I can't take all the credit. But I will, though.
You will. Sounds good. And we're going to actually see Jake playing at Scotch College a little later in the season on the Hangar, so that will be a must-watch. Well, we've got the home viewer question for you now, Michael, and it comes from Mark Rosito. How do you think the current crop of players compares to the Premiership team of 2000?
Yeah, well, it's always hard to compare, but I think with the players, I think they look like a lot mature. I think the maturity of their playing for each other, and I think that's one of the strengths that was 2000. And you can see a lot out there, and you can see the youth of the side, part of the 93 as well. So it's a real good mix, and it's an exciting mix too.
And well done to Mark. You win the At the Luggage prize pack, which is valued at $500. Now, Michael, we can confirm that Michael Hurley will return from his hamstring injury against Richmond. How good can he be?
Fantastic, obviously, our forward line having a second option up there, and no doubt, with the smaller players like Alwyn, and he's been in great form the last few weeks. So, I suppose it's a tall timber that they're going to have to counteract against Richmond.
A lot of hype around the club this week. People are talking premierships, grand finals, top four. It's all come along quite suddenly. Where do you think the side's at?
I just think we're in a good space at the moment where we are, and it's at round 7, and I think that's where we're at, and we're a young side, we're an emerging side, and I think as every game goes on, I think winning plays a lot to your confidence and maturity as a team and a player, and no doubt that has a reaction, rippling effect to the whole list of the side, because the expectation, if you do come into the side, there's an expectation you have to perform, and I think the way the team's playing, they're playing like a team, and I think anyone who comes in has to, lift their sleeves up but for all the right reason. I think the way you just see from the outside that there's some real good, mature way that Essendon are playing at the moment.
Well, Michael, thank you for joining us. Enjoy the long walk.
Thanks very much, and we look forward to people coming along and supporting it.
So, Pete, as a rookie, it's very important to have everything nice and clean for game day. All right? So we chuck these in there, like so. Oh, here we go. My mate Job. You'll be right for the rest?
All good, Skip.
Good luck, Pete. Good.
Thanks, Skip.
Okay.
So how many goals have you kicked?
45.
Lisa, no time for chit-chat, eh? We've got boots to clean. Sorry, mate. Rookies. Andrew, it's a game of 4 quarters. Okay? Get to it. All right, Pete, how's it all going, mate?
Yeah, good, Skip.
Oh, mate, we haven't got time for that. Just chuck them in the dryer.
All right, Skip.
No mucking around. Well, we've got heaps to do, mate.
Okay.
Missed a spot. We haven't got all day, mate. Yeah. Oh, okay. Bit of a mishap there.
Come on, jumper, guys. Got to play.
Yeah, this is it. You might be able to squeeze into that.
Not to play. Sorry, Joe.
This has been a Fox Footy production.